আসসালামু আলাইকুম সবাইকে। রোহানা আপু মেট্রো এসএস থেকে আমাদের সবাইকে খুবই সুন্দর একটা প্রোগ্রামে নিয়ে আসছে। নারীদেরকে ঘরে বাইরে যে নির্যাতন করা হয়, ওই নির্যাতন সহ্য করতে না পেরে অনেক নারীরা যে আত্মহত্যা করে, ওই নারীদের স্মরণে এই অনুষ্ঠানটি করা হয়। অনেক সুন্দর অনুষ্ঠান ছিল। আমরা ওই নারীদের স্মরণে আমরা সবাই ফুল দেই। পৃথিবীতে যত উন্নত কান্ট্রি হোক না কেন, নারীরা কিন্তু সব কিছু সবসময় প্রতিবাদ করতে পারে না। আর নারীদেরকে যদি সর্বোচ্চ সম্মান দেওয়া হয়, পৃথিবী কিন্তু অনেক বেশি সুন্দর হবে। হোপ আমার ভিডিওটি আপনাদের ভালো লাগবে।
And some mulberries. Okay, you're the first one to get
Two
that.
spring rolls.
Hi, my dear.
One spring roll.
Of course, which one? This one? Of course you may. And what else would you like, my dear? Some mulberries. Oh, we're the second for the mulberries. Beautiful. And some strawberries. What would you like, my dear? Some strawberries. Of course you may. What else? Yes, there you go. And this one, of course, yes.
What would you like?
There you go. There you go. All right. Yes. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. What would you like, my dear? What would you like, my dear? Some wrong.
Okay, once you've got something, just move along this way.
Watermelon. Yeah. What else? This one, the cinnamon scroll.
Of self-love, self-nurture. Do not underestimate the gift of it.
In honour of the victims who lost their lives to domestic violence. And while we do that, and you can invite, you've got, you know what to do. And while we do this, I invite Yazzie to share another song with us called How Come, How Long. Thank you.
Take part in a rose laying ceremony, and everyone is invited to lay a rose in memory of a victim of domestic violence. But before we do that, I'd like to ask that in doing so, we remember the women who have lost their lives to domestic violence, not just for the way that they died, but for the powerful contributions they made in their circles of influence, the creative to act ourselves. Our experiences are often framed as emotionally draining, niche, or too political to attract long-term support. Our grief may be emotionally draining, but it is pointing to a wider injustice. Child-centred approaches and responses, and a lack of coordinated long-term mental health support. Researchers pointed out that the number of children and young people affected by homicides in Australia is unknown and likely underestimated. They found that Australia's response to the challenges faced by children and young people was inadequate, with many reporting lifelong experiences of
separation from their children or further racism towards their communities. We recently marked the 10-year anniversary.
Activist and a creative, I respect the long history of Aboriginal activism, leadership and storytelling on this land. I would also like to acknowledge that tomorrow is the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. And in doing that, I'd like to mention the disproportionate way that Aboriginal women continue to be harmed in this colony and disproportionately affected by domestic violence and other forms of violence. In her Stella Prize shortlisted Black witness, Dr. Amy Maguire writes, "We do not know how many Aboriginal women have gone missing in this country. The archives are filled with the missing, the Aboriginal women who are no longer here to speak. The families and loved ones of missing and murdered Aboriginal women whose deaths are often ignored by the media, the police and the legal system are often left without justice or closure. We must remember.
I'm to introduce our keynote speaker for this event, Amani Haider. And I know there's a little bit of a script there about you, Amani, but Amani is a passionate advocate and a campaigner for ending violence against women with a background in law and creative way of telling stories. Amani uses both art and advocacy. That was phenomenal. Thank you very much. This is the future, right? So it warms my heart.